Well, it's time to do a review on my 2017 Roadmaster. It's has 50,000 miles on it, and I thought I'd just mention some of the things that went wrong with it. It was a new model. This particular model here came out with the new infotainment that you see here, and so it was the first year for that. And when we come back, I'll let you know what I had to fix. Well, let's take a ride and we will see what has happened over the last 50,000 miles. Let's get her started here. Okay. Now there are a couple things that I did to this motorcycle. Not too many as far as the drivetrain goes. I put on Rush mufflers, slip-ons. I left the same header, and I did not clear out the catalytic converter, so that's left alone. And then I installed the high capacity airflow and had it flash for those components, and that's basically all I did to the for the performance of the motorcycle. Now, one of the first things that went wrong with this motorcycle when I got it, and it all has to do with the new fairing, windshield, things like that. This has got the power windshield, and it has a ball screw drive, and that ball screw drive had some sloppy tolerance in it, and there are a couple different fixes out there, and I took care of it myself, and I have a video that's a few years old that goes over that, what that fix was. It's very simple to do, and I've never had an issue ever since, and it still works just fine. Now, the other thing that went wrong was, as you noticed in intro, I don't have the tour pack on the back, and that's because I like to ride around normally without that extra 75 pounds that's just carrying air. There's no reason to have all that on the back, and I like the feel of the bike without that tour pack on there. So I take that off. It takes less than a minute to take off and less than a minute to put back on. It's just heavy. So in that tour pack, it has power locks, 2 power locks that are driven by one solenoid. That solenoid has a plastic sleeve on it, and that plastic sleeve broke. So they replaced that whole unit, the whole thing. They didn't have to replace the whole thing, but that's the way it comes. They don't have just the solenoid, they have the locks and everything, so they replaced that. So all of that was done under warranty. So other than that, I've had no warranty major issues. Oh, there was one here. This little clip right here, that little clip broke. No big deal. Pops right in, done. I think if after warranty I break another one, I don't know, they're $1 or something. No big deal. So other than that, no issues with the power commander, no issues with the drivetrain. I've done oil change services every 5,000 miles. Sure would be nice if I wasn't following this car. I'm going to pull over here just for a moment. Okay, yeah, I've changed the oil every 5,000 miles. I've replaced the brakes once. I think that was somewhere around 30,000 miles, somewhere in that area. I changed the fork oil at 45,000 miles, and also the brake fluid, that was changed at 45,000. Let's see, what else was changed? Oh, I did have an issue with my shift indicator. And the way, what was going on with my shift indicator is it would, even though I was in like 5th gear or 6th gear, it would show neutral. and then it would flip back to 6th gear if I was in 6th gear, and then it would go to neutral. That didn't bother me at all, except I was on a trip out to Colorado, and I was using my cruise control. And when you use your cruise control and it says it's in neutral, it disengages the cruise control. So that was a bit of a pain. So at 45,000 miles, they, as part of my service, I had them clean the sensor, and that's all they do. They don't replace it, it just needs to be cleaned. There's oil that flushes by it, and it gets a little buildup after some time. The new design on the Thunderstroke, I believe, moved that sensor so that it doesn't get direct oil and doesn't have that deposit issue. So that was the only other thing. Let's see, what else? Yes, I've replaced my tires a few times. I just replaced the rear tire, and that one had about 12,000 miles on it. I probably could have got another couple thousand miles out of it, but I ran over a nail, so I had to replace it, but at least it was mostly used up. The front wheel, the front tire it has 12,000 miles on it, and I think it's going to be good for another 3,000 miles without an issue. And what I'll probably do is in the spring I'll replace that. And when I had them replaced the last time, the rear tire, let's go in here and see what's going on. When I had the rear tire pulled off, I had them check the bearings and check the brakes, and both were fine. So they're still hanging in there. I'll do the same thing when I pull the front wheel off. I'll have them check the bearings and check the brakes. So other than that, let me see, what else could there be? There's not much else to do with this motorcycle. Of course, I've set it up with all of the creature comforts that I like. Backrest. I like heel shifters, so I put a heel shifter on it. The chrome that I put on it, some people don't like chrome. I put some chrome on it, not a lot. Put a lot of light stuff in the back, and you can see that in some of my other videos. If you look back, you'll see custom dynamics lights, and I think I have some Kuriakin lights on there too, and a strobe unit, and some other stuff. So what do we have going on here? Looks like we have a little festival going on. It might be tearing down. What time is it? It's 2:30. Oh, by the way, it's 95 degrees and I'm by the water here. I used to work at this beach way back when I was in high school. Anyways, yeah, so I just wanted to make a short video and talk about some of the things that were of issue. Now, I've heard some other people have other issues with their bike, but I've had none. I've replaced the maps, updated the maps a couple times. That was easy to do. I've used the software, Ride Command software, to create all kinds of maps. In fact, I can show you some of the maps that I have here. Look at this list here. I don't know if you can see this list. See all of those different maps? And I deleted some of them. So yeah, it's that works just great. And there is a trick to that. And if you want to know exactly the tricks for that, check out one of my videos on how to use the Ride Command. There is an issue, a little what I would consider a glitch, and I found my workaround to it, and that's by putting in more waypoints, and also to set one of the filters on here to scenic, and I describe that more in my other video. So from that standpoint, I don't know what else to say other than I really like this motorcycle. There's no reason for me to get rid of it. I actually don't have 50,000 miles on it. I have 49,951. So 50 miles short of 50,000 miles. So not too bad. I'll probably hang on to this motorcycle for another couple years. So that might be could be 20,000 miles. It all depends on if I get out and ride like I want to. So I'll have 70,000 miles on this when I trade it in. And I'll probably trade it in, and if I do that, it will be on a Pursuit or a Challenger. But I'm waiting for the next redesign of the fairing, which I think is coming. And also, if the Pursuit comes out, I'll probably get a redesign on the Tour Pack, because right now the Tour Pack is identical to this bike, and it's been in existence for, well, since 2016, I believe. So I'm on a route right now that we used for our attempt to break the Guinness World Record for the most Indians in a ride. And we basically started in the campground right over here on the right, and we had 174 Indians, just Indians. And I led that ride, and it was a lot of fun. I was privileged to do that. It's unfortunate that we didn't get one of the people that I really wanted to have come here. We had Jim Johnson, who was he's a disc jockey from the Detroit metro area. I think he's still working. I believe he is on WABX. I could be wrong there. But his friend, a good friend of his, is Bob Seeger. And Bob Seeger just purchased an Indian, and we almost got him out, but I don't know. He backed out at the last minute, according to Jim Johnson. And yeah, but that would have been cool. I would have been able to meet Bob Seeger. And those are kind of the perks of living in Michigan. So from that standpoint, I think that's about it. I just wanted to make this short video. And if you are interested in getting a used Indian Roadmaster, don't worry about the mileage. If the person has done decent oil changes and service, you're going to have a good bike for a good period of time. So until next time.